Hello and welcome back to the Brown Señoritas. Hi. I am Stacy.
I'm Desi.
And I'm Gato.
And we are celebrating March. The month of March. So the month of March is Women's History Month. And so we thought we'd talk a little bit about women.
Being a woman.
Being a woman and just all things.
All the fun parts.
Women.
All about it. I mean, obviously the month of March being Women's History Month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we want to appreciate women, talk about women that have inspired us. Like it's the whole thing. So to start, I'm going to ask a question. It's kind of a hard question because I don't even have an answer for it.
Okay.
But is there a woman that inspires you or that has inspired you? And who is she and why?
Like a famous woman or any woman?
I'm like Pocahontas. Just kidding. A female figure, whatever it is, could be your mom, like it could be famous. Like when you think about like, oh, I wish I was a woman. Like I wish I was that type of woman. Yeah, like who is that person to you?
I guess just because in the real estate world, in sales overall, women are looked as weak sometimes. I want to say, or at least that's what I always thought, as like men just want to push women down in sales just because they feel like if they can take advantage.
Because their ego is like so fragile.
Literally. And so being in sales, I've come to really appreciate, and I don't know much about her life, but I'll see her on TikTok. She's on Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran.
Is she the older lady?
Yeah, she's the older one. And she she tells this story all the time about how like her secretary or assistant who was her friend her husband cheated on her with her assistant. And she like left that obviously relationship and friendship, and her ex-husband told her that she would never become anything, and she went and sold her multi-billion-dollar or multi-million-dollar business in real estate. She was like when you think real estate in like the 70s, maybe 80s, 90s, well, there's no technology. You had to have everything signed by paper. You know, there wasn't like social media to market the house. You had to go out and work. Like to think of like, she's like the OG in real estate to me anyways. And so just listen to her story over and over again and just seeing that she's still working. You know, I'm like, you don't have to work for money at this point. She just enjoys it and likes giving people gifts because like all her employees, she'll take them to Tiffany's. And it's just like, pick whatever you want.
Bro, I'm about to start working.
I've seen a TikTok of her talking about her life story, so that sounds familiar. Have you seen her house in New York?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's really cute. And so at least that's
She's
the one
boss.
That's the one recently that I've like, I respect her and I admire her. I think but someone close to me, I would have to say my mom, which sounds so cheesy. But really...
You can't run away from that.
No. I see, Barbara as, like, the businesswoman, but I don't know her as a mom, and I'm sure she's a great mom and, all the attributes. But when it comes to the most important things in life, like patience, love, faith, hope, all those things, I definitely feel like my mom has those. I will say, like, her temperament is hard sometimes,
right?
But I think that's like a blessing in disguise because that's what has helped her go through like the hardest things in life. And she's still going strong today, so
for real.
I know that whatever I go through in life, looking back at what my mom has had to go through, I'm like, okay, I can do anything.
Hard things.
I can do hard things and still be like a good human being in the process too. I feel like a lot of people, because of challenges of life, they turn to different people, and we are meant to change, right? Like we are meant to be different and like be better in a way. But I feel like she has held strong to her values and morals, and she has not, is the word wavered?
Yeah.
Wavered.
She's resilient.
Yeah, she's just like, this is how it is, and this is how I'm going to continue to live my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I will say Barbara Corcoran and my mom.
Oh, cute. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
I also was going to say my mom. We should do a Mother's Day episode. Or just release this one on Mother's Day. No, my mom is like superwoman. Like There is nothing this woman cannot do except for maybe like swim and swallow pills. But
That's me.
And she's like a total baby about it. But besides that, legitimately, this woman does it all. Like anything that you can think of, she can do it and absolutely do it better than everybody else. Like she works full time, watches my nephew, runs 6 miles a day, cooks.
She runs 6 miles a day.
Bro,
that's why she's in shape.
I mean, she forever will. Yes.
I just ran a mile today for the first time.
Which, by the way,
congratulations! That is incredible.
That's amazing.
So
I stopped 4 times, but it was still a lot
That's
better
nothing.
than what I thought.
You got out of the house, girl.
Dude, and it was snowing.
That's a win.
Yeah, and he did it early morning.
Yeah, I was like really proud of myself.
Was your days just so much better because of it?
I was the most productive I've ever been in like months.
It's insane how like doing something like that early morning
and it literally
makes your day.
It took me 30 minutes. I was outside. Yeah. Yes, it was cold, but I was wearing a really warm hoodie, so I didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was wearing my cool Air Max pods, whatever you want to call them.
See, if I had them, then I
would. Music was bumping. I was listening to Mora.
Heck yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was just cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can do this a couple more times. So tomorrow, I'm gonna try to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's
amazing. Keep going.
No, and like as you run a mile, like you're just gonna get faster and better at it, and then you're gonna be doing it in like 7 minutes.
Yeah, this took 30 minutes, so the goal is like at least 10 minutes.
Heck yeah,
get it done in 10
You're
minutes.
gonna do it so fast.
Thank you. Anyways, sorry, your mom, amazing mom.
Is there like someone else that's like that you don't know that inspires you?
Yes. But I just wanted to say about my mom really fast. I think the thing for her is more of just like her. I guess when I think of like a woman, she just like encompasses all the things. And I don't want to be like gender normie, but that's such a weird thing. But like she just doesn't encompasses femininity really well. Like she's strong and powerful and hardworking and beautiful and like she's just like she's incredible. And she loves me even though I put her through so much shit. Like she just is all like it's crazy. Sometimes I tell her, I'm like, bro, I did this and it's like bad. Yeah. And she's like, okay, well.
Our poor moms.
Like, what am I gonna do? Not love you anymore? So but also I was reading Eat, Pray, Love in high school. Have you guys seen that movie?
I've seen the
movie. With
Julia Roberts.
But I read the book.
It's a good one.
And the book talks about it says there's like a line in it that says Guatemalan women are the hardest working women in the world. And when I read that like hit me to my core.
Nice.
And so the women that inspire me, there are a lot of like women, but I want to talk about like women, just Guatemalan women. And it's true. Every day that I would drive to school or drive to seminary at 5 a.m., these women were out there selling food, selling breakfast, selling newspapers, like running from bus to bus to get somewhere. And I'm like, these women will stop at nothing to be successful. And like, granted, they have like poverty and society working against them, and they're still out there like hustling. And so I think Guatemalan women inspire me, and I hope to be that. And I'm like, bro, I'm like the laziest person ever, so I'm like, how could I need a little bit of that in my life. So them. And then I'll let you was thinking of someone earlier, but I can't think of them right this second. So if it comes back to me, I'll come back, but you share now.
See, this is such a hard question for me because I wasn't raised with a lot of women in my life.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys know, like, my mom wasn't there for a long time, and it wasn't because of her choice. It's a very interesting situation, but, I mean, she inspires me a lot, but because I didn't, like... It's interesting. I didn't grow up thinking, I want to be like this woman, like that. I never had that. So this question is really interesting because I feel like maybe this is the first time in my life I'm thinking about that.
Oh.
Is that interesting?
That is interesting.
I was excited to ask you guys, but I knew that it was going to be hard for me to think of someone.
Yeah.
Because I've always been like, my dad raised us, and then it was always like, who inspired my dad inspires me. The people that he will talk about. Because I feel like it's almost like that. Like, you grew up in a house where your parents would talk about people that they admire. And then somehow those are the people that you admire as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's always been male figures.
Yeah.
But...
Well, and that's true in history. So at school, because every time it's like a month of something, I like to do a lot of things. Like for Black History Month, I try to do a lot of things to like have my kids research and learn about Black history. And now that it's Women's History Month, I'm like, okay, like I had them write a journal about a woman that they admired. And a few of them are like, well, why would we write about a woman? Like, why? And I'm like, because we've never, like, it's not talked about. Like, when we look at history, it tells us all about the men that did these things, and the men that signed this document, and the men that fought this war, and the men, and I'm like, we don't talk enough about women. Like, I was researching women, and there's literally handfuls of them.
Yeah.
Whereas there's millions of dudes we talk about. I'm like, we just aren't talking about women as much as we need to in terms of history. And the kids are like, well, why do I need to be respectful to women if we're not talking? I'm like, bro, it's the little boys that just try to, like, you know,
just fight you.
Just fight me for fun. Like, I don't mean it. I'm like, who brought you to this earth? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Right. So
I think that's
when a man brings you into the earth, then let's talk about that. But no.
That's the one thing that I've always been like, do you guys not know where we come from?
Right.
Like, you're here because of a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Right now we started watching House of Dragons. Mm-hmm. It's like the Game of Thrones spinoff. And just the way that women are portrayed in that series, and obviously it's supposed to be historically accurate to how women were treated back then. And literally, at least from what I'm understanding, it's at least like the people higher up, it was just like, look pretty, serve your king, and give him babies. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nothing else, right? And I'm like, women are so much more capable of all those things. And now we do all those things really good, right? But the more, even becoming now a mom, I'm like, you're telling me there's women in my situation, but that don't have a husband and are working full time and are making money and are, you know, providing for themselves. They're doing everything by themselves. Yeah. And somehow we still see women as inferior or not as smart.
I know.
Or weaker. Or
when in fact they work harder than a lot of men because they have
a purpose.
The woman responsibility plus their masculine side that needs to be activated in today's society, because no one survives without working. Like, you work so you can pay for food, so you can pay for your house. Like, a woman can't, like, unless you're married to a man that's willing to provide for you, you by yourself cannot depend on anyone. So, like, now you have to be a woman and act
like a man,
right? So, I mean, when I think about, like, people that inspire me, I guess to, like, just finish what I was saying, like, I can't picture a person, but I know what inspires me in women. And when it comes to, like, what you were saying, like, oh, like, women that work and they achieve this, they achieve that, those are really, when I think about what inspires me, those are not really the things that come to mind, but I really am inspired by women that are, like, really classy, really kind, just really gentle. Like, I always, like, I see women like that and I'm like, wow, like, that's admirable and I want to be more like that. Mm-hmm. So I can't think of someone, but those are the things that, like, catch my attention when I see other women.
I don't know, I guess just I think of so many different periods. And again, when I had my baby, everything changed. I'm like, people have had to go through, like, giving birth for centuries, right? And I think of, at least even my grandma's generation, I feel like women then were still not allowed to speak up for themselves. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's, 50 years ago compared to now that we're able to, like, you know, be more activism. Mm-hmm. What's the word? Be more like an activist. Mm-hmm. And for me, I admire what our ancestors had to go through, if that makes sense. Just because I don't think I could ever just do what a man would tell me to do. Probably because we were raised differently and we're in a different climate. But to think of even what my grandma, not even that far back, but what my grandma has had to go through in order to be the good woman, be the good virtuous woman, right? Like, that was such, like, this is your goal. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have never done that, but they had to. They had no other choice.
But a lot of them didn't mind, let's be honest.
For sure. Too. But I was going to go back to all of them have had the classy level to them. I want to say, like, my grandma would never leave the house without makeup on, you know?
Right.
And even people back then would dress up, like, really dress up to go to the movies. Mm-hmm. So it's just, like, have you guys seen that picture of, like, what a successful woman is in their 30s, and they put two pictures of like a woman married with a baby and then a woman that just got a new job as a single. So there's like different looks to what success is for many.
Right.
But like...
And success is different for everyone.
And it's so
like
different for everyone. I feel like maybe just because back then it was just like black and white. Like this is what success is for a woman. You have to be married, have children, give a son to your husband so they can continue the line or the lineage. And now that just looks so different nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another woman that inspires me, and this is kind of funny, just because it's like not someone I would think of, but like I really was moved by her when I didn't meet her. I saw her. But like Lizzo, I love her.
That's awesome.
I love her. And like, not just that her music is good and stuff, but like she like had to have so much courage to like be the person she is in the society we live in. And like when we went to her concert, like I don't know about you, but I was like, I loved myself so much because of the things she was saying.
It was such a positive environment.
Literally, she was just like radiating self-love to everybody. I was like...
Yeah, it was like, really cool.
No, it was insane. Like, I was like, everybody in this room, regardless of what they do, what they look like, how they feel, right now...
Everyone loves themselves.
Everybody loves themselves. And Lizzo did that. Like...
And she like created such a safe space.
Oh my gosh. It was beautiful. So... Lizzo, I love you.
It really was. I will have to agree.
Yeah.
But, you know, you said something really interesting because, like, success as a woman looks different for everyone. And it's so interesting because I think what success really is like living your truth.
Yeah.
If you want to be a stay-at-home mom and you really want that and you're doing it, that's
and
success.
You love it and you're happy.
If you want to work and you have, like, goals you want to achieve and, like, the financially, whatever... and you're doing it, that's your success.
Yeah.
Like, your success comes down to what you want to do.
And what fulfills you,
Because some people dream, people dream to have a career, and they're so happy, but then there's people having careers that they wish they could be home with their babies.
Oh,
so it's like, it really is will you decide what success is for
yourself.
You. And what being a woman means to you.
No, that's so true. And I think I like... talk a lot of crap on like the girls that get married really young and have babies. I'm like, oh, you didn't live your life. But like, if that's their truth, that's how they're fulfilled. And
I know.
Let them.
All the more power to you.
I gave him so much crap up until the minute Natalia was born. I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
And it's probably
because you love your baby.
It's probably because they were raised in an environment where their moms had a great time being married young, that they talked about it, how great it was so much. They're like, my mom was so happy. I want to do that too.
Yeah.
I think like, again, I'm kind of bringing like the immigrant experience into this. Like in Mexico, you don't get married until you're done with school, right? Like
ever,
You live with your parents until you get married, and
like done with high school?
No, like college. Sorry.
You don't get married until you're done with college in Mexico?
That's ideal.
In Brazil, you don't either. It's very rare.
What?
I don't have a single friend from high school that's married.
Unless I don't have a single friend that got married and went... I don't have a single friend that went to college. Like, in Guatemala, like...
What? That's crazy. All
in Guatemala, like, Guatemala, add, like, LDS to the mix.
Yeah.
And it's literally like, oh, you're 18? Go find yourself a husband.
That's crazy.
Now. Go have babies now.
Dang.
Wait, I'm dead at that. I didn't know that Mexico had that mentality.
Again,
Brazil is not like that.
No, Guatemala is like... Maybe it's just my family. Like, and granted, it has changed. I genuinely think this generation took the world and like shook it.
Yeah.
It was like, let's change everything, which obviously I love because I'm a big part of the change.
Yeah.
Like,
and we did the shaking.
We did the shaking. I'm doing the shaking every day. But like my family, like my cousins and stuff, like my aunts, all of them got married at 19. All of them had multiple babies, and all of them were like essentially done having babies by their 30s. And not one of them went to college. Not one of them studied. All of them were just moms.
Wow.
That was it. And so like the next generation, my cousins and I, had the mentality that we are going to do the same. Well, no, we're all like, I had that mentality all my life.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, yeah, I'll go to college, but I'm really just going to go find me a dude and drop out and have babies. Like, that was my mentality up until maybe a couple years in, and I was like, I don't have to have that. I don't need that right now. And I mean, it also didn't happen, so it's like
interesting.
Fine. And you look at all my cousins, and not one of them. Okay, I think a couple of them have now graduated college, but like, not to like flex on anybody, but like,
I finished.
But like, I'm the only one that has a master's degree. I'm just kidding. That's so narcissistic of me. I hate that.
Okay, it's not.
I didn't do that. But like, yeah, no, all my cousins married at 19, multiple babies.
Interesting.
And I am the only girl cousin today that is still single without children. And my little sister.
I guess if you look at it on like a religious
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing.
It plays such a big role.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be that way. You know what I mean?
I know, but I think for the longest time, I was so angry. I don't say angry at the church, but I was kind of annoyed by the way I was raised. Like in the LDS church, like, oh, you need to get married and have kids. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's I was almost raised, everybody's mentality.
No, so in my house, obviously that was like a goal, but it wasn't like. The biggest goal was to go to college and finish college. Mm-hmm. Like, that was, like, what you strived for.
We're talking about, same here.
Because that meant
incredible.
That you were going to have a good job, secure financial status.
See, we were never supposed to even work.
That's insane.
Like,
that's crazy, Stacey.
I want to say none of my girl cousins work. They're all stay-at-home moms. All of them.
See, only one friend that I have growing up in Mexico has a kid. And she's getting married here soon. That's the only one out of, like, a good 30 friends that I have.
I was definitely raised to be, like, a boss. Like, that's how my dad would talk to us.
I'm jealous. I wish I'd had that, like, mindset growing up. But no, my mindset was so, like, get married, have kids.
Wow. But, I mean, if you look at us...
I'm jealous.
If you look at us now, though, it's, like...
No, she's married with a kid.
Right. It's the other way around. I dropped out of college. Right?
That's
I'm a
true.
Stay-at-home mom.
You went.
Yeah, I did.
I feel like we always do what we're
like
told
my cousins
to do.
didn't even go.
It's not even an option.
I mean, they could have if they wanted to, but like that was never a priority.
Dude.
And granted, my cousins watch this and they're like, I really wanted to go to college. Sorry, you didn't say it. I don't know that. You didn't tell me.
They're probably
like Stacey's out there lying about my intentions.
Dang. So yeah. So kind of going back to that, I was raised like that, so it kind of bugged me, or it bugged me for a long time to see younger girls get married and have kids so young. Because I was just like, what are you guys doing? Like, how are you going to support yourselves? What if something happened to your husband?
What do you have going on for yourself?
What do you have going on? Have you explored the world? Do you really know that this is the guy you want to be with forever? Now, I think there's good things and bad things regarding that. And even, like, if you have the goal of only being a stay-at-home mom, that's great. But then you also need to think about, what if that doesn't happen for me? Right?
Plan B and C.
Yeah. And so I think as women, we have to have those.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
I wish we didn't have a plan B.
I literally had to be like, oh my gosh, this isn't happening. What am I going to do now?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I wish whatever we strived for was what we got. But all I wanted to do was be the rich aunt. I wasn't even striving to have kids. There was a point in my life that I was like, I'm okay with not having kids.
Yeah.
But it never felt like good. It never felt right. But I was like, no, I'm going to ignore that feeling. Like, I know I want to.
But you had a moment where you thought that.
Yeah, for sure. And my life has now changed, and I'm like, and it sounds so cheesy, but I'm like, this is what I have been made for.
Yeah.
Which I have never felt like that towards any other thing, not even music.
To be a mom?
Yeah. Teach my kids.
Because I feel like that's where I'm at in life. Like, my entire life, I've wanted to be like a boss girl. Like, I want to accomplish all these things. And like, my dad was always super supportive of like, me going to college and getting a job and accomplishing my dreams, and like so was my mom. Like, we all wanted to be someone in the world, so I grew up like that, and I've thought like that for a really long time, and now I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, hold on, I'm tired. I'm tired of like hustling. It was fun for a little bit, but honestly, I had my moments where I was like, I don't want to be a mom. That's so boring. Like, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, I have completely switched. Like, I want to have that. And I'm like, and it came out of nowhere because nobody's telling me to do that. It's just like it grew in me.
I will say, though, I think the mindset that I was talking about is like kind of like society and like my family, like my big extended family, like they all thought that way. I will say though that my dad especially, and my mom too, would be like, oh, but like, what's your career gonna be? So like they did push for like a working woman, which like I'm glad for, but they did like, it was always like both of those, like a working career fulfilled woman, but also a mom with kids. Like how is like having those two lives together, like that is essentially what I want. Like I know it sucks to work, like I'm not gonna lie, not every day, some days I'm like, I don't want to get up early, but I know if I didn't have that, I wouldn't feel fulfilled, and I do feel fulfilled, especially with the job I have. But I'm like, having something to do and like working towards it every day makes my life a whole lot better than if I didn't have that.
But I would say like being in our 20s, like I'm completely happy doing what I'm doing. Like I've been able to like build my confidence so much because I've been able to build something for myself and be like, oh my gosh, I did this is for me, it has my name on it, and it feels great to have that. But I definitely don't see myself doing this much in my 40s, you know what I mean? Like eventually it will be nice to settle down.
Do you guys think that like society supports women being like fulfill the role of a mother or just another worker?
Well, I feel like now the roles has changed, because I feel like in the past it was like, no, you have to be a stay-at-home, you have to do those things, so your husband can go work so you can like have a home or whatever. But now I feel like a lot of stay-at-home moms are being shamed on. I feel like that happens a lot, where it's like, you're lazy, or like I hear that so much, like that's all you do, you know. I hear that so much.
Where it's literally like the 24-hour job that you make no money off of. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of man and woman shame on stay-at-home moms, and
then when we do go work, and then you have kids, it's like there's just not a whole lot of benefits to that, like. Maternity leave is not long enough and all that stuff. I think the world slowly is progressing. I think, and by the world, I mean, I think just the United States, because that's where we live and that's what I know. But like, I think it's slowly progressing to like being able to fit that mold of being able to do both. Yeah. Being able to be a mother and working. Having a career, getting an education, and traveling and fulfilling women. I think slowly but surely, I think we'll get to the point where women will be able to do it all.
Yeah. Pros and cons. I think it just depends what your goals are, right? If you want to have a family, then you should feel supported to be a stay-at-home mom if that's what you want. Right. But then unfortunately there are those situations like, dude, I still gotta hustle, right? I see so many...
Or even if you don't have to, you just want to. Yeah, you want to work.
I've seen a couple TikToks, and it's like, I'm the stay-at-home mom that doesn't like to stay at home. Yeah. So it's like her going out with the kids, just doing whatever, but anything but be at home. And I'm like, that's fine.
See, because I feel like I always knew that was me. Like, I'm like, if I'm a stay-at-home mom, like, I know I cannot physically be inside my house all day long, every single day without
stay at home doesn't mean you have to stay at home.
No, but I mean, like, I want to do something, like...
Meaningful every day.
Right.
See, I just love it. I think maybe because before I was out and about all the time, showing homes Monday through Sunday, 8 to 8 type of deal, I didn't feel fulfilled in that. And maybe some women do feel like that. But when I had the opportunity of like being home, not having to go out and deal with people as much, that to me was a gift, right? And that was something that I like cherish now so much. And I love being at home. But I mean, I think it's just like I'm kind of like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly right now. Right. And it's a butterfly that I didn't even know I wanted to be. So I'm still exploring this because like I remember going out every single weekend and just loving that and like hating the thought of being at home. And now that's all I want to do, except for certain occasions, right? I'm like, is it really worth my time? And am I going to be with fun people and all that stuff? Like, yeah, let's go out. But I feel like, man, I don't know. Society has an interesting view on like women that stay home and they think they're lazy, but then also women that work and they're like, oh, so you're not at home with your kids, like you're not a good mom. You're not a good mom. It's like we have so much crap. Like,
well, what we need to do is
honestly, society, like if you've got negative things to say, shut up. And we are the ones that determine what our fulfillment and what our success looks like.
And it's all about what you want.
Exactly.
And what makes sense to you.
And if for us, our success is staying home and raising our kids the best way we can, then beautiful.
Yeah.
And if our success is working full time and making like a ton of money, then do that.
Because you're also providing for your
like
family.
The only person that gets to dictate what your success and what your fulfillment looks like is yourself.
And you should have a partner that supports that.
And honestly, my view of a stay-at-home mom is not doing laundry or like cleaning,
someone,
like having a maid.
I was literally I was talking to Kara the other day about this. I was like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom that doesn't do chores. Like, is that a crime? I don't think it's a crime. And I want to find a husband that completely supports that. I'm not going to tell myself I'm asking for too much because that's not real. I don't want to do laundry. I don't want to be cleaning like a maid. I don't want to be doing too much as a maid. I just want to be invested in my kids. Right. If that makes sense.
I just want to do the things I love.
I just want to vibe. And yes, I want to exercise. I want to eat right. I want to have goals. I want to like become a better person. Like I want to be involved in really good things. But when I think about like the idea of a stay-at-home is in a lot of people's minds, like you're home. So since your husband's working, you do the laundry, you do the dishes. Like, yes, obviously we're going to help out, but that's not my job. Like, I don't want to only do that and take care of kids. Like, there's so much more to be a mom than to do laundry. So I was telling her, it's like, dude, because she's like struggling sometimes with like the house and stuff, like just hire someone to do it for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Because guess what? You're busy learning new things.
We hire people to do a lot of other things.
Like, my mom had a maid. My mom was incredible as a mom, and she still had a maid. And I loved that she wasn't like stressed with like, oh, I need to cook, I need to do this, and like she already has so much to do as far as with us that all the little stuff as far as keeping the house put together, she paid someone to do that, and that's fine.
And that doesn't make or break you as a person or as a mom or as a woman at all.
I think people that can't do those things are the first ones to say you shouldn't.
Yeah. They're the ones that are the most judgy.
Yeah. So another question.
Next question.
We're getting heated over here.
Let's do it. I know.
What do you like about being a woman?
What do I like about being a woman?
I guess like physically, let's do like
we can do physical. Both. Yeah.
Like for me, physically, I love that the makeup, like beauty, is like a way to express ourselves.
So fun.
Or I guess even in today's world, anyone can do that, right? To express themselves.
Yeah.
But at least growing up, that was like a big way for me to like, I don't want to be a little girl anymore. I want to be a woman, right? And I would put on makeup. That was my way of like feeling good.
Yeah.
And I think our bodies have so many like.
It's so beautiful.
Like beautiful lines and curves. Like, yes, a female body, is beautiful.
I love
it. It is art.
I love men, but women are a million times more beautiful.
God was like, I'm gonna spend all my time creating the perfect woman's body. Men,
you're gonna be okay.
Whatever.
You just need to reproduce.
I literally stare at women way more than I stare at men. Like, I see a beautiful woman, I'm like,
that's what I love about being a woman is that like women can be sexy and like beautiful and cute, whereas dudes are just like, hey, you're either hot or not.
Yeah,
they're literally a box to me. Like, that's how I see them. Like, yeah, you're cute. Yeah, I like man. Oh well, don't have.
You know that moment where you like try, you like dress up, you do your makeup, you like wear the fit, and then you like walk into a room and you feel people looking, and you're like, damn. People think I'm hot right now. That moment, that's why I love being a woman.
Yes.
One of the many reasons.
We literally have so much power.
Oh, we are.
I feel like
powerful beyond belief. And we don't even know how powerful we are.
Exactly. And I feel like the world, men, whatever you want to call it, have suppressed our...
Why?
Because we are powerful.
And they know it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I need to make it so they don't feel powerful.
Yeah.
So I can, because their egos are literally this big and can be burst by any tiny little thing. So what are they going to do? They're going to make us women feel small so they can feel big.
Amen.
So those men, the few of you that recognize how powerful a woman is and acknowledge it and like love it,
thank you.
slide in my DMs, bro. Like,
where are
you? Not these trash ass men that are like
putting you down.
Exactly. Anyway, I also love about being a woman. I mean, I haven't lived through this, and God, or you have, but I love the idea of like being pregnant, creating a life, and
that's
granted,
insane.
Like, I cannot fathom how painful and uncomfortable it is, but the fact that we are the ones that get to do that—that's pretty cool to me.
I think it was like back in. I mean, I'm sure a lot of cultures have this, but we're watching this show, and it's like Roman soldiers, the same way that Roman soldiers were buried, or like their burial process was like very powerful. The woman that died during birth was the same way. Like, they saw them as warriors, like fallen warriors as well.
And it is.
Because it's a battlefield. Luckily for me, I'm blessed. I'm lucky. And my pregnancy was beautiful. I even tell Cody, I'm like, I want to be pregnant.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's so
radiant.
Like, I want to be pregnant because I had such a good time. And I know...
And your fits went so hard.
Dude, that's the one thing I
literally, I like will go through your Instagram. I'm like, damn,
I want to be pregnant.
I want to be pregnant just so I can wear that.
It was just
like your green velvet dress.
Dude,
and I was thinking about that.
Bro.
I still
it
have
made a mark in my life.
And I haven't. I've put it on, and I'm like, I have to be pregnant for this. Like, it's just not the same snatchness to it.
The same expansion.
I like could be pregnant my whole life, physically,
also
aesthetically.
Yeah. And, like, hopefully you guys have good pregnancy, because it honestly is such a beautiful thing. But I think, honestly, that's probably one of the first times I've actually loved my body, when I was pregnant. Wow. Maybe because I'm like, I literally can wear anything I want. Right. And I have an excuse,
to just sit and be able to just...
Yeah.
Right, it's like, I can have this big old belly, and, like...
People love it.
Wait, that's sad, though, that...
It is,
but then, because I've literally thought my whole life, I'm like, I can't wait to be pregnant so I can be fat for no reason. And that's so negative of me to do that.
And then...
I literally suck it in 24/7.
Oh, literally?
I'm sucking it in. I just do it out of habit.
But see, this is the thing, and since I follow so many, like, mommy pages, they're like, you guys love us when we're big and pregnant and tell us we're beautiful. Then once we have the baby, you're like, all right, start working out, start losing weight. You know, it's like, wait, you just told me I was beautiful this size. What has changed?
Ago.
You know, obviously I had a baby, but the bouncing back culture is actually something that a lot of mommies are like trying to like fight against. It's like, dude, you just went through
I'll fight with you guys.
A lot, and people unfortunately still to this day pass away during birth. So it's like, you've made it this far, just take care of your body. Your body literally doesn't need...
It doesn't matter that much what you look like. Like, just try to keep this baby alive. Like, that's all that matters.
So, yeah.
And even without the baby, like, just body positivity.
Yeah.
I could talk about this forever, because it's something that was so new to me that I'm like, oh, wow, I actually love my body. Yeah. And not because, like, people tell me. It's like, I genuinely love the way I look. And I love the way I feel. And the way that body, like, the clothes fit me. I'm like, I look so good, right?
I love that.
So, anyways, I can talk about this forever, but...
It's a really good insight. Like you love being a woman because we get to do something like this.
It's amazing.
It
when you
really
feel
is.
The baby moving, like, it's just like, you don't have to go to school to learn how to make eyes in the womb, right? Your body just knows how to do
crazy.
that.
And teeth.
Your body.
And hair.
No, it creates a whole nother human life.
I just have to sit there.
Perfectly.
Eat and be chill.
Right.
And my body does all the work.
That is pretty amazing.
That women are powerful because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And many other things.
What else do we love about being a woman? I mean, I was gonna say, back to what you were saying, I love getting ready. Like,
Oh yeah.
Have you seen those like reels or TikToks when they say men will never get it, and it's just like a girl doing her makeup? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
But I'm like, they will never get it. Like, there's not, like, you're gonna go out with your friends, and that time you take to get ready when you're not in a rush. You're not in a rush. It's just like that full hour where you like shave your whole body, you do your hair, you do your, and you're just looking at yourself in the mirror the whole time. I cherish that so much. Like, I feel so good and so pretty when I'm just putting makeup on my face and getting ready, or like getting my nails done, or just like taking care of myself in that way. Mm-hmm. I'm really into it, and I love it. I have the best time of my life when I go get my hair done, my nails done, my lashes. Like, there's something about it.
I wish men had that way of thinking too, because I feel like men should have a way to like love themselves, and for some reason they're just not taught to like.
And I think that's changing a little bit though. This like I'm telling you, this generation is shaking the world up. But like I think now we're also seeing like men like go get pedicures because it's literally so fun. Like, and some
they
people
love it.
Oh yeah, like tell me, who's not gonna love getting their feet rubbed in like hot water and like massage? Like, no one's not gonna love that.
Yeah.
And why is that a woman only thing? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, anyway, I think, and then you see dudes now, like, I have friends that are boys that like will experiment a little bit with makeup. We'll put on, like, we'll fill in their eyebrows and put on a little bit of
you could use a little bit of concealer. You look like death to me.
Literally, it's like we're just making our skin
cover that pimple,
pop a little more. Like, that's not a boy-girl thing.
Yeah.
And so I totally agree that men should also feel these things.
And I think that's such an interesting point because, you know, I feel like men, they hold so much in.
Yeah.
And because I think
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Emotions.
We are so free to let it all out because that's what women do. Like,
I mean, granted, we do get called crazy.
Yeah.
Emotional.
But we're literally just feeling what we're feeling.
But like, we're allowing it to come out.
Exactly.
Whereas you hold it in, and then whenever you reach
you do very violent, awful things.
You go crazy.
Right.
So with us, because we are we feel so free to just express ourselves through our like we can do so much to express ourselves.
We have a lot more freedom to be emotional.
Yeah, and to express that feeling through so many different ways. Like, I love that freedom that we have. I know we don't have a lot of freedom as women, but I love that with that we do.
Right.
And there's no pressure.
And men should honestly have that too. Men are no different than us in terms of emotions.
They
like, men feel literally every single emotion on the spectrum of emotions that we do. And it's unhealthy
They're
to
just
not
scared
feel
of
that.
it.
It's unhealthy to keep it in. And then they literally go shoot up a place because they can't handle all these emotions. And so it's like, yes,
literally.
I love the freedom of being able to cry during a rom-com, bro, because I will do it.
Yeah.
Dudes, go ahead. Let it out. Yeah. Cry it out. Because it's freeing and it's liberating. A good cry really does help.
Oh, are you kidding?
It changes your soul. Like, how much better, like, it really will. You're just gonna feel lighter. Like, I'm sure in a chemistry way, or your body, however your body works, like, there's actual chemical functions that, like, when you cry, you just feel better.
I feel better.
Same with saying the F word.
Yeah. I bet. But
I know my mom's watching, so I'm not gonna say it.
I was gonna say real quick, like, imagine our cultures, how much better they would be if men were taught to express their emotions.
No, for real.
And I just say this in, like, the Latin community. I'm sure maybe there's other cultures out there, other countries that deal with the same problem, but we just have that word machista, right? That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole nother 10 episodes for us.
That's for Man's History Month.
Is there a Man's History?
Well, it's every month of the year, so.
Well, they make it about themselves. Okay. We don't hate man.
No.
I kind of do.
I mean, men are trash, but
50% of them at least.
So
I'd say like 92.
93.7.
97.5.
Do better. Okay, this question is really interesting.
Okay.
When did you first feel like a real woman?
Man.
Is that crazy?
I feel like a woman.
I told Cody that was the only country song I knew.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah, like back in the day. Now I'm like, I've been opened up to
There's
more.
like good handful of incredible country songs.
I don't know why.
But like,
I'll teach you.
do you mean like in I guess maybe there's, cause like
In a physical way?
I was gonna say in a physical way.
Doesn't
like,
matter. For you, like, because I feel like every woman goes through that point in their lives when they are like, they don't feel like a little girl anymore or like a teenager. Like, do you remember the first time you were like, wait, I'm a woman?
Dang. Maybe I didn't like it at the time because I actually started my period really early. Now that doesn't really mark your womanhood, right? But in a way,
it does.
It does.
That's when you become.
I was 11.
Wow. I mean, me too. I was 11.
I had not even had to talk.
Was I 12? I think I was 12.
Yeah, I was 11, so I was pretty young. I remember.
That's not that young. I've had friends that had their periods when they were 9.
I've heard of that.
That's like 5-year-olds.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
those are like
pretty crazy.
I think the range is from 5 to 26.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh,
You scared me because you were like, sorry.
I'm dead. I didn't.
I tend to do that to people sometimes. I'm just living. I'm so sorry.
Is
She's
there a
just
ghost
startled.
in here?
I don't think it was my period because I think either 12 or 13, and I was still too young to feel like a woman, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You were 12 or 13 when you got it?
Yeah. I remember it was like the end of the school year, but I can't remember if it was like 6th or 7th grade.
I was in the middle. I was in 5th grade, and that was the year that they taught you the hormone period video or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they showed that like maybe 3 months after I actually started my period. So I was
Oh,
watching
you're like,
it.
I already noticed,
I was
been
like,
there.
"Psh, I know this stuff.
I'm a pro.
I got my period when I was in school, and my belly was hurting so much. I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? I'm in so much pain. And I remember I came home and I like went to the bathroom and I was like, what is happening?
You didn't know.
I knew what a period was. I have had the talk, but that's the last thing that came to my mind when I literally thought I was dying. And I ran to my dad. I was like, I am bleeding down there like crazy.
You
Like
told your dad?
Yeah, because my mom wasn't.
I told my dad first. Too.
Yeah, and
Really?
my dad was like, "You're a woman now." He was so excited for me, and I was like, "What?
See,
I
that's
don't
the
even have
thing.
boobs. I didn't even have boobs."
I'm dead.
I just don't like. I didn't know anything, so I remember looking at my underwear. I'm like, did I not wipe well?
Did you not
Am I
even
dirty?
Yeah.
Did you not even know that you were gonna get a period?
No,
you
I
never
had no
heard
idea.
of the
Oh my
concept.
God, never.
Okay,
What?
that's I would have.
Never.
See, I think my mom and I are like very open, and so ever since I was little, like
You knew.
I knew because I would see her like pads and tampons and stuff.
She's
So I
also
think
the older sister.
that's true.
So,
well,
but
so am I.
so are you.
I don't know.
My family has always been very like, we don't talk about that stuff.
What?
Like I didn't even have the.
Wait, we should do a
The
whole
sexy
episode.
talk.
We really need to I can't talk. We really should have an episode just on like
Yeah.
periods.
Yeah.
So let's wait on that.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
But
soon.
I feel like that was like a
'Cause I
time
did-
for me where I was like, I need to start acting different because I got my period. Like I definitely changed when I got my period.
Interesting.
I'll say that, but I didn't feel like a what.
I'm just thinking. Have
Now
I
you're
ever
scaring
really
me.
felt like a woman?
I know.
Have I ever felt like I just am living? I don't know if I'm.
I remember the first time I felt like a woman. Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
dang.
Right. I was gonna say something along those lines, but I didn't.
Like that.
I don't want it to be like I depended on a man to feel like a woman, but like kind of.
The right man will make you feel like,
Like,
a woman.
I
Yes.
remember when I was like,
like they
I am
activated something in you.
appreciated as a woman. Like I'm not a little girl anymore. I am a woman. Like I do. Yeah, probably that. Yeah, probably that moment.
Yeah, it was like wow.
I didn't want to say that one
It was-
because
We don't have to talk about it, but
because I really wanted it to be like a self like empowerment thing rather than like I needed a man's validation.
But that comes to show you that women need men and men need women.
But actually, after that, like there have been so many more instances where I'm like, bro, I'm a whole woman, and killing this life. Getting an education for me, like graduating, that was big for me. I was like, not only am I like fulfilled in this way, but I'm like, I feel like I went above expectations for myself. And that was very cool for me. That was very empowerful.
I think I
Power.
have yet to.
empowering.
Empowering for myself, yeah.
I think, I'm not trying to like say that this is what it's going to be, but I really want, so if we have a second baby, I want to give birth at home with like no medicine in a little pool or like my bathtub. And apparently, at least from the mommy bloggers I've followed and the doctors or whatever, and they say that that's just like you just feel magic
Right.
when they're coming into this world.
Right.
Like the veil is very thin.
I wanna
have
do
described it like that.
I want to do an
I want to give
unmedicated
birth
birth.
so bad. So
I
can
think
feel
Just
that.
not at home though. I'm scared of home. I'll do it in the hospital, but
No.
I want to try,
I didn't have such a great experience at the hospital. That's why I'm like, no, I'll do it at home this time.
I would do it at home, too.
But I just have to do a lot of research. But anyways, I think that for me, maybe I have had experiences that I'm like, oh, I definitely feel like a woman. But I think now that's, like, a goal I want to strive for. Like, that's what I want to feel.
Right.
In order to make me feel like
that's
next
everything. On the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a time where I was babysitting a baby and I put the baby asleep in my arms.
Oh.
And I remember feeling like I'm built to do this. Like, why was it easy and smooth? You know what I mean? I remember that. And it wasn't my baby. And it was just someone else's baby that I was babysitting. And I'm like, why does this feel good?
Yeah, it feels natural.
It made me feel really feminine.
There's a lot of peace that comes with like a baby sleeping on you. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. It's amazing. Natalia doesn't like to do that right now, but I know eventually we'll get back to that.
Should I ask the next question?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many questions do we have?
I have just two
more okay.
left.
Cool.
What does it mean to be a woman today compared to before? I guess we talked about that already.
Yeah, and I think it's really just like us recognizing how powerful we are and knowing that like a man can't stop me. A man can't tell me what to do, what not to do, what to buy, how to dress, if I can own land, pay taxes, work, get an education. And I think it's taken a few hundred years, but we're getting to the point, and it's not really close to like equality in a lot of ways, but we're getting there.
So, I mean, this is the last question, going to what you're saying. So what hopes do we still hope to see? I mean, what changes do we still hope to see in the future? I feel like obviously we've made great changes, but they aren't great. They're like just the basics that we should have had the
I
whole
honestly
time.
think, and this might be like revengeful or petty, but I think we need to put men in their place. As women, I hope as like women as a whole, we're like, hey, you're actually trash, and we're not gonna allow this behavior. Because I think for generations, and I'm being serious about this. Like, it's not just like, oh, dating online, whatever. No, it's like as Latina women, like we've put up with machismo for generations, and no, like absolutely not. Like we're not putting up with that. Absolutely not. Like I'm not gonna let a man, granted, and it's probably gonna be a man I love with my whole heart. Whoever,
technically
whatever.
A boy if they're acting that way.
But like if, as a society, like men aren't gonna dictate what we say, and I'm gonna tell you that your behavior towards me, and this is, and also if like in relationships, I feel like women sometimes are like made to feel inferior, so dudes can just kind of keep like doing whatever they want. But no. And I think in the future, I want to see that. I want to see women stand up for ourselves and for each other, to be like, we are just as capable of all these things, and it's time that we actually, no, we're not just as capable, we're more capable than men. Let's get real. Like,
I think
if you put a man and a woman to do the same job, who's going to get it done faster, more organized, in a more like loving way? It's going to be a woman.
But at the same time, like, we can't forget that there's a reason why we're different, because each has their own strengths. Like, I know there's so many things I can't do.
Like firefighters, dude. They have the strength.
Like, I'm sorry, like,
strength.
I'm not gonna
But women are firefighters too?
Yeah, they are.
Right, but like naturally, like bodies are different, right?
Certain things are easier for men because of the way that they're built, and certain things are easier for us. And I think that is the beautiful thing about being different. Like, as a woman, I don't want to be equal to a man. I want to have the same opportunities if I want to, but I know we're never going to be the same, because I provide different things than you do, even though there's a lot of things out there that we can do the same, and women can do better or men can do better. I know there's a lot of things that we can both do, but there's beauty in appreciating the differences. There's things man can't do as well as women. There's things women can do as well as men. And that is just scientifically proven because of our the way our bodies
like
are.
Like dunk at basketball.
Yeah, but not just that. It's just like the way of handling things.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of women are capable of that. But then again, and some of it goes with the nature of the woman, but maybe just because how we are built, like even more sentimentally, right? Like, I don't know. I definitely... Like, I do see your point for sure. And,
like, when it comes to, for example, helping people. Women can help people. Man can help people. Men can help people more logically. and women can help people, and as far as like being like, let them feel connected and be heard. Like, we can all do all of it, but I think sometimes men are just better at like, okay, this is a deal, this is what we're gonna do, and women have that gift of being able to like sense like emotions, which are so important to things. Like, I think it's beautiful that we're different and that we can add different things into solving problems.
Yeah, I think I will say, maybe the first time I felt like empowered was when I realized I'm like, I want to be taken care of. Even though I can take care of myself, I want someone else to take care of me. I have like the I don't know, would you call it ego or pride? Because I saw this one video of this lady, she went like a talking show, like, what's his name with the big stash? Anyways, it was one of those talk shows.
Harvey?
Yeah, Steve Harvey. And she was like, I need to find myself a man that is like, will be right next to me and is as hard worker as I am and like will let me do whatever I want. And like, she just went and listed all these things, which are good attributes to have as a woman, but it sounded more like she wanted to portray that she didn't need to be taken care of, but she wanted a man.
Yeah.
And most men are taught you're there to take care of a woman, traditionally, right? So Steve Harvey, or whoever the talk guy was like, hey, you're just looking for a partner. You're not really looking for, like, someone to take care of you. If you're trying to find an equal person, you could, but they're just going to be just like you. And there's certain things that I am really good at able to provide to Cody, but there's some things that he's better at than to provide for me. So
I agree.
It's just like, I guess, and it's a whole other subject, right? Like masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
But I think for me, kind of changing subjects here, for a woman, I feel like we are doing better, but being less judgy with other women. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's another big thing. As women, yes. We gotta protect our own.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I do hope for. And I think, like I said, we are doing better, but I hope we become a less judgy culture or less judgy gender.
Like, we need to hold hands and come together.
Yeah.
That's the only way as women that we can be powerful. Because I feel like there is this sense of brotherhood in the male community where I feel like they all have each other's back. Like, the way they just like say hi to each other, the way men can become friends with other men a lot faster, like all of that, there's a sense of brotherhood in the male community that sisterhood in the female community, it's not I don't think it's as strong.
Or like at least half of it seems to start off fake. It's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, when you don't really care about the hair. It's just saying that
a lot of comparing,
make it look nice. So we could probably talk about that too. And even in the Latino cultures, it's all about image, right? At least in my family I grew up with. It's all about how you look, how you treat others, and how others perceive you. It doesn't really matter if you're a good person inside. Is if you fit in society good, then you're set.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Totally.
So, I love being a girl though. There's obviously we have our struggles and challenges, but I do feel like in a way we are better in a lot of things and stronger, but you also have to, at least for me, I've come to the acceptance that I do want to be taken care of. Even though I know I can take care of myself, I want someone else to take care of me and provide for me so I'm able to do whatever I want.
Flourish.
I feel like, again, that change happened to me very quickly because I didn't want that before. I wanted to be the rich person in the relationship, the stronger one, but I'm okay not being that anymore and just chilling at home. Yeah. Being on my phone.
So, to finish up, what's one thing that you're going to do this month to celebrate Women's History Month?
I'm not going to care in a negative way about my weight.
Beautiful.
I love my body for what it is right now.
Yeah. And you're doing so much good for your body too. Like,
yeah.
Right.
Like, that's a way to celebrate it.
Try.
How about you?
I'm gonna just like hype more girls up.
There you go.
Like at work, at school, my family. I'm just gonna, there's like a quote that I always think of. It's like, never suppress a generous thought. And I always think that it's like, if I have a generous thought about someone or like a nice thought, say it, tell them. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be more complimenty.
I love that. And
I have such a hard time with that.
I think that's my goal too, to compliment more girls.
Yeah.
Well,
we learned so much.
It's so deep every single time with you guys. There's so much to talk about.
know.
But anyway, thanks for joining us. It was such a great episode. We hope that you can find ways to celebrate Women's History Month. Educate yourself, educate the woman in your life and the man. And we hope that you have an amazing Women History Month.
Yes. And women are incredible. Don't ever forget that, because we really, really are. Yes. And dudes that are watching, never forget that either. And you are lucky if you have a good girl around.
Oh, yeah. All right. See you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.